Hello and welcome again to another episode of Nerf News, your number one source for Nerf news on the net. This is late breaking. This is exciting news. It's voice cracking action. Seriously, let's talk about this. This dropped like 30 minutes ago. A couple of buddies of mine blipped it over to me. I saw it in a couple of groups. There's actually a Facebook fan group for Dart Zone blasters in particular, which is pretty slick. I'm a big fan of it. But I could talk about this ad nauseum. Instead, let's just watch it, then let's break it down, then let's talk about it in general, because this is unprecedentedly cool. It's cool because it dropped out of nowhere. No announcement, no official post, no nothing, just the Dart Zone YouTube channel threw this up. So I figure we owe it to ourselves to watch it together. Won't you watch it with me? I've watched Select your blast.
Upgrade your game with the new MK2.
All right, so let's break this thing down frame by frame, because I think that it's got a lot to digest here, a lot to unpack. So we begin with Dart Zone Pro logo. No surprise there. And then we have presents. This thing kind of opens up in an orbital, like hexagons. Pretty cool. This isn't explicitly the deco of the blasters, but it's nice. It's industrial. It shows that like they clearly spent some time on this. I can't do graphics like this. So I think that this is pretty cool. This is very much like on par with like the #1 blaster brand in the world. Nerf does a lot of CGI stuff like this, so it's cool to see them meeting them on that level. There were big discrepancies in the marketing between the Ultra Pro, not the Ultra Pro, the Nerf Ultra, and then the original Dart Zone Pro, and so it's cool to see these evening out. We also have the original hashtag from back when they were at End War, the hashtag #OnlyOnePro. I think that that's strong. I like that they're still doing it. I don't know why this O isn't capitalized and this P is. This should be capital only one pro IMO. I just think that that would be cleaner. It makes it seem more like a variable name. Anyway, I've never fully understood hashtags, so what do I know? Then we've got this blaster select screen, and we see our first silhouette here. If I can back it up. This is clearly some sort of pistol, and then here we have the Mark 1 silhouette. Of course, it's not the Mark 1 silhouette. This is the Mark 1.1, which is the Target exclusive. We have a full-length dart down here in the bottom. We unload the magazine. It switches to a half-length dart. The adapter slides in. No surprises here.
Upgrade your game.
Then we say upgrade your game, and we get what appears to be our first look at a brand new blaster, and there's a lot to digest here. So I'm going to pause right here at 18 seconds, and you guys can kind of follow along with me. So as it spins around, we can see that this appears to be some sort of belt clip. I'm not sure if this is designed to be some sort of funky, like reverse it, holster it in there sort of thing, or what. It would be the opposite. Like this would have to flip this way, attach on the belt, and then this would have to be omni, and it doesn't appear that way when it's spinning around. So I think that this is either a belt-based muzzle attachment or some sort of funky holster that I don't yet understand. Then we have a safety. Safety just tells us that this is going to be pro performance on some level. It's got to deliver the hits. You don't put a safety on a blaster that doesn't deliver at least 100 FPS, so I'm assuming we can assume that this gets at least 100 FPS. Rival blasters tend to get like, 80 to 90 FPS, and they have safety, so I assume that this is going to be hard hitting, even though I think objectively it looks pretty tiny. The grip seems very small. The trigger well seems large in comparison to the grip. This is designed to be a sidearm, to be a pistol, but this is our first look at the Dart Zone Pro Mark II. It's got Mark II here. It's got Mark II over here on the grip. It says powered by Primetime Dart Zone, so we know it's genuine. Its provenance is true. Then we have the DZP logo again up here. Slide comes back, and it appears like there's built-in iron sights here, and then I'm not sure if this is part of this red injection molding piece, or if this is part of the funky holster attachment. The holster attachment also has like almost a silencer co kind of feel to it, in my opinion. It's like a suppressor. It's giving this some serious secret agent vibes for me. I'm assuming that this is an attachment, right? Because we've got like a detent down here, and everything seems separate. And it also does something like, the one concern that I have with a silhouette like this is a really small silhouette. It looks very much like a proverbial real steel firearm. Slapping a massive orange silencer on it is definitely the direction that I would want to be in if I were opening myself up to such liabilities, I suppose. So I like that. And then we pull the slide back. I don't think that this is going to be an automatically retracting slide because of this. That's firing, and then we have a 6-pack here. So we can assume that this is a 6-round internal magazine because the 6 DZP darts in here, and these are bamboos. Ratchet in through a speed loader system, which is ultra slick. We'll talk more about that later. Close the slide and fire again. Then it flips around. We see the Mark II. It fades out. The system closes. We've got Dart Zone Pro, available December 2020. So the craziest thing about this is that this is like happening soon. Assuming this video isn't an accident and this is real, like this is coming out within a couple of months, which is crazy. That means that this is easily like the coolest thing that I can think of for this holiday season. I mean, if it's not a Nexus Pro or an Aeon Pro, it's got to be the Mark II, right? And then down here, we have Target.com. And that's interesting because the Mark I was not available at Target.com. It was an exclusive release through Dart Zone. They did the distribution for that themselves. It came in a cool tactical spy pack. And I feel like that's kind of the vibe that we're getting from the Dart Zone Pro line. You've got Wild West and Zombie Strike, and then you've got like, you know, Milsim and In Strike, and then you have Goofy Fun and like Max Force and what have you. But I feel like the DZP so far is like very secret agent, very briefcase, very clandestine on a mission. And I dig that aesthetic. In particular, I can't get over how much I like the red on gray that apparently accompanies the Target releases. And I guess this is Target's next foray into the Dart Zone Pro world. This dropped like 30 minutes ago. I knew that I had to get the news out here first because I'm super hyped up about this, and I just wanted to talk about it. So we've got a safety switch, which implies power. We've got a built-in 6-dart magazine. I think that this thing's going to be crazy compact. I like the speed loader. I guess we have no idea at this point if it comes with the speed loader, if the speed loader is an accessory that you buy, because I checked the Target website. I even checked the code on the Target website, because in the past, the Dart Zone website was a little soft to some HTML sleuthing, and I couldn't come up with anything on this. I'm not sure if this is the patent filing that we saw from Dart Zone earlier in the year. I can't remember even what that was called, but they filed a patent for another name, but this isn't like an Aeon or a Eon. I know that people want to argue over that. It's very cute. Nor is it a Nexus, so I have no idea where this is coming from, but this is, at least as far as we understand now, the Mark II. Just really, really cool looking. I like the idea of a performance pistol. If it hits 100 FPS, I'd be super duper happy. Kind of hard to speculate as to what this thing is going to cost. I'm going to assume that this is going to be pretty expensive since it says coming to Target.com and not Target, you know, coming soon to Targets near you. I'm assuming it's another internet release. It's clearly a sidearm, not a primary. I'm going to assume that it's going to be less than the Mark 1.1 because it's just a smaller blaster, less shipping, less plastic, etc. But I don't think that this is going to be cheap. I think that given that it's a Pro, here's the window that I'm in. I think it's got to be less than the Mark 1.1, and I think that it has to be more than the Nexus Pro. I think it's got to be kind of in that arena. I think that the Pro line has to perform a little bit better than the Adventure Force line. I imagine that an Adventure Force version of this blaster would be ultra, ultra slick, but I don't know if or when we'll see that. I'm also eagerly curious to find out, and I'm trying to... That was weird. If we pause it as it spins around. So just interestingly enough, if you guys look in here, this looks to be all plastic here. So I don't know if this has a metal barrel, or if it has a metal barrel, is it going to be in, you know, the mechanism itself, and this is designed to be removable. But we can't see a metal barrel here, so we can't speak to that. We definitely like it has to be a breach system to work the way that it's going to work. I don't know. I just don't know. This is a very ambiguous video. There's a lot less to go on than the Mark 1 launch way back in the day, but there's also a lot more. Like, this is a very clear picture. No glowing briefcases, right? I mean, I think that it's pretty safe to say that this is cool. So I think it's going to come in between $150 and $50. Let's split the difference. My guess is going to be that this bad boy costs $100, and I can tell you that at $100 a pop, I would buy 2 of these. I think that this is everything that I wanted in a like almost Alucard loadout for HVZ. I think that it's just really, really cool. I like the idea of a compact blaster, particularly if it hits pretty hard. Hopefully, we're not going to get political on my YouTube channel here, but today this dropped. It is the 9th of November. I know that Pfizer just announced some very promising vaccine results. And so I'm fingers crossed. We're being very vigilant, very safe, but we're also looking forward to a bright future in 2021 where End War will continue to be the event that this hobby deserves. And in that case, I would love to rock one of these during an exhibition match or something. The speed loader is really cool. I think that it'll probably, I feel like it almost has to come with one, but I imagine that you could load it physically. I'm also very excited to see like if it'll fire these half-lengths and the bamboo half-lengths. Is it going to be proprietary enough that it doesn't agree with the, Worker Mark 3s or the Adventure Force darts? I really like the Adventure Force darts a lot as well. But in general, pretty stoked for this. Really excited to see an official target announcement. Barely has any views. No real information here, except it says Mark 1.1 now available at Target.com. That's been there for a while, and then we have available December 2020 again. One thing that I think is strange is comments are turned off. I don't know why that is. I mean, I feel like this would be overwhelmingly positive news, but I went ahead and threw it a like. I want them to know that I like it. I hope that at some point they see this video and they know that I really, really like it. But I'm pretty excited for this. In addition, that link to Target just lets you know that there's a sale. This used to be $150. I guess in a world where you can get the Nexus for $50, they decided to dial this back. I actually prefer the Mark 1 to both the Nexus and the 1.1. I think that the rubberized grip, the full metal priming bars are definitely worth paying for. I like locking down my my takedown pins here. But I think that this is a pretty fair price, especially if it matches the Mark II. I might have to pick up another one of these. I think I'd like another Mark 1.1, just because I've used mine for a lot of painting and tinkering. At this point, the one that I picked up at Toy Fair, that was really, really, really cool. Just a big fan. Really like seeing Target enter this arena. It's clear that Walmart is going to be releasing these Adventure Force Pro Blasters that are very affordable and deliver the hits. If Target has decided that they're going to sell the premium options, I'm crazy cool with that. That's almost kind of how the those retailers bounce off of one another as well. But interestingly enough, just because you know that I love you guys, if 120 is still too rich for your blood, and when I say that I'm willing to pick up another one, this is what I'm talking about. A buddy of mine in that Facebook group, which is pretty cool, posted this. And this is just showing that if you hop on the app, the Target, I guess, carousel or whatever it's called app, there's an offer that you can redeem that expires on the 21st for 25% off one toy or kids book. Apparently, if you apply that to the 1.1, I mean, what would that be? 25%, right? 25% off of 120. I mean, I feel like I should be able to do that in my head, right? It's $90. Yeah, exactly. So that puts it down to $90. I bet with shipping, you could probably get under 100 there. And that is, I think, a really, really good deal. The last thing that I want to mention is, and I've mentioned this before, it's really cool that Art Zone keeps coming to our events. I know that Northeast Designs has not made it to End War yet, but some of his products have. And this just reminds me a tremendous amount of the Venturi. I made a video about the Venturi around this time last year. Actually,
that was 5 or 6.
That lines up. Just fun fact.
Counting is hard. Let's say
counting is.
I'm sure it would be much better with DZ.
Oh my goodness! Look look at how small little Jay is in the background there. You guys can't see her. Check it out. Back there in the background, little Jay looking real small. That's so cute. Jinxie, come here. Hey. Come here, sleepy dog. Show the internet how big you got. It's cold out, so she's got a t-shirt on. Anyway, I think that the Mark II reminds me a lot of the Venturi with the mag-in feed. The speed loader is, I think, a nice addition given what I'm fooling with here. And if it hits as hard as a Venturi, which I don't think it will because it's significantly smaller.
You push that down, and it's...
This was a really cool product that not a lot got made. I know that Northeast Designs didn't release a ton of information on them, and I don't think that he made more than 25, 30 of them. I think that they are really, really cool, though. So if it's anything like the Venturi, I'm down for 2 of them. If it comes in at $100, I'm super stoked. That's a lot for a sidearm, but it's also not a ton for a sidearm. It's hard to build a spamp for that amount of money these days as well. So like a quality sidearm at that price, I would be very, very excited for. But that's my take on it. Let me know in the comments down below. What do you think of the Mark II? Are you excited for it? How much would you pay for it? And I think that's it. I hope you guys had a wonderful Halloween. I'm working on some really cool content right now. I've got some amazing stuff going on at the Foam Pro Shop over on my website, selling some cool stuff for not only Dart Zone products, but some others as well. There's like a moth in my striving. Anyway, all right. I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for checking out the news. Weigh in down below. Let me know what you think is cool. If you think that the Mark II is cool, if you think that it's a pass. If it's as small as it looks like it is, the holster game is going to be legendary. That's all I have to say. All right. Thanks so much for watching. Weigh in down below. Let me know what you think of it. What would you pay for it? Much love. Drac out.